don't go there. Don't suggest for 1 minute. These are fabricated text messages.
They're getting closer. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got Min Doan. Remember that? The guy who deleted a whole bunch of emails, 1,000 emails. You know, the ones that connected GC strategies. Remember the guys who got $60 million of taxpayer money for a Rive scam? Those emails connected them to the government, but those emails got deleted by Min Doan. But he said it was a mistake. Something happened when he copied files. He did the old Control-C and the Control-V. Oh no, what happened to my files? My computer went corrupt. He gets absolutely grilled today by conservatives. We've also got the CBC plus the Liberal Minister of Veteran Affairs trying to attack and smear Pierre because of their actions on Remembrance Day. So let's jump into this. With Remembrance Day, we've got this posted by Pierre. You can see on the upper right here. It says, contrary to what Liberals claimed last year, chaplains are banned from prayers at Remembrance Day ceremonies. Canadians should be free to practice their faith alongside fellow Canadians as we commemorate those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. Common sense, not woke nonsense. And so you can see prayer bans still in effect for military chaplains. Now, CBC had a little discussion on this here with this minister, Liberal Minister of Veteran Affairs. Now, it being the CBC, you know this is going to be woke and taking shots at the conservatives, and that's exactly what it is.
But a lot of people, point to historically before, say, D-Day, for example, chaplains, praying with the soldiers before they launched the invasion of Normandy. Do you support it on a personal level?
I truly believe that it depends in the community. There's some communities that I attend that for them it's very important to have prayer, and in other communities, not to say that it's not important, but again, they want to be more inclusive with respect to the groups that they're representing. It is not a decision that the government of Canada has made. It's a decision that the Chaplain General has made to provide some guidance, and I think that we have to respect the decisions that are made within communities.
No, you need to respect our veterans who died for our freedom. If they had prayer before they went into battle to die, then stick with the traditions. This is disgraceful. People got mowed down on beaches, and she's sitting here like a pompous nimwit talking about inclusivity. Oh, we need to be inclusive. It might hurt somebody's feelings from the other side of the planet who just moved to Canada. No, this is tradition. Our grandfathers gave their lives for our freedom. Disgraceful.
Rabbi Scher, who spoke there today, did cite God, did say amen, did give what amounted a benediction and a prayer. So it's obviously not banned from the ceremonies. But the military is struggling with this a little bit, right? There has been the initial directive came out, and now there's a table to sort of revisit it and see how to strike the right balance. Where do you think this needs to land?
Well, I know that I've spoken to some chaplains over the course of the past few weeks, and I asked them those questions. And one chaplain in question that I spoke to, she indicated to me that well before the directive came out, she wanted to ensure that she was more, inclusive with respect to the sermon and the prayers that she gave her, the moments of reflection. So again, I think that conversation will be underway. But
leave it to Justin Trudeau to crap on and insult every aspect of Canadian heritage and life, including our veterans.
It did get a bit political. There are statements and videos and attacks from the Conservatives in particular on this. What are your thoughts about politicizing an issue like this? This is something the Chaplain General is doing, but I just wonder what you thought of real partisan politics becoming a part of November 11th.
I'm going to be very honest. I find it very distasteful, David, that this is even a topic of conversation right now. This is the week that we should be really recognizing the men and women that continue to serve in uniform and some that have fallen, and to be talking about politics and making cheap political games out of this, I think is really distasteful.
I think it's distasteful that you keep voting with Justin Trudeau to absolutely destroy our country and put people into unruly amounts of poverty. 2 million people per month now going to the food bank. What do you think about that? This interview is disgraceful. Jeanette is disgraceful, and so is David Cochrane. And so is the CBC for turning off comments. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. You get $1.3 billion a year of our tax dollars, and you can't even unlock your comments. Like, look at this. The CBC's got to go. Next up, we'll jump over to a committee where the Conservatives absolutely grill Min Doan. They call Min Doan and Min Doan. So if you're wondering the difference, Doan and Doan, they're talking about the same guy. Just the background here, Min Doan was in the CBSA. Like, he's the contact point between Christian Firth and GC Strategies and the government. But when this scandal blew up, the Rive scam scandal, he was copying files from one computer to another one, and all his files got deleted. All his emails got deleted miraculously. It obviously looks very much like fraud. He's hiding his tracks. facts. And a few things have happened here. They're going to question him on his emails. They're going to ask him about his text messages they were able to pull from his cell provider. They're going to ask him about him threatening Cameron McDonald and some other people. And they bring up the whistleblower. So a whistleblower came out and basically called out Min Doan and said he's full of crap and that he's a liar. So there's massive allegations against Min Doan. So that's where we start here with Larry Brock.
So I understand that the complaint from a whistleblower submitted that complaint to Michael Lafleur. Is that your understanding, sir?
That's what I read in the Globe and Mail.
Has Mr. Lafleur spoken to you
Yes, he has.
in relation to that complaint?
Yes, he has.
Have you received a copy of that complaint?
I have not.
Have you requested a copy of that complaint and it has not been received?
I have not requested a copy
And why not?
because I know the allegations are false.
That makes zero sense. You're under investigation. A complaint is levied against you with very serious, damning facts that you willfully, intentionally deleted relevant emails in relation to the selection of GC strategies. And your evidence is, I know it to be false, but I didn't even bother to ask for the misconduct report. That is incapable of belief, sir.
I would refer you to CBC then.
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
it is mind-boggling, sir. That truly is.
Throw that guy in jail. That's where he belongs.
Instead of calling in the designated IT team, you went and did it yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, I copied a file into the network and copied it onto my new computer.
In the process of doing that, files were accidentally damaged. That has led to a situation in which it's hard to find these records. According to this IT employee who spoke to the Globe and Mail, the fact that you didn't engage the proper IT professionals for this is extremely unusual. It's outside of the proper protocol. You contacted an individual IT employee directly at one point instead of going through the proper process. I mean, how are we to find you credible, sir? And given how central missing records is to this whole story, that you, one of the central figures in this story, undertook to go outside the normal protocol. You were just trying to save the folks in IT some time as a senior manager, and something just happened to go wrong.
At the beginning of 2023, missing records was not a discussion or a point at that time. So to imply that I would have done anything specific for missing records, I didn't. In terms of the IT
Sir, that timeline has no relevance at all.
Mr. Doan, I want to be clear about the job that you're in now, the Chief Technology Officer of Canada. Did you get that position through a competitive process? Yes or no?
No, it was a lateral.
I don't understand, because when you came before committee in October of last year, my colleague, Ms. Kuzi, asked you this very question, but in response, you said, and I quote, I was in the middle of a competitive process.
Merci beaucoup.
So I mean, we've heard your answer today and we've heard your answer then. Your answer has changed. I know the answer is that it was not a competitive process, because we have that testimony from that TBS already, from the Treasury Board Secretariat. You took issue previously with testimony from Mr. Cameron McDonald that during a phone call that you had threatened him. Do you remember refuting that you had threatened him?
I do remember that allegation.
Remember saying that you hadn't threatened him?
He was in a different department. He wasn't even working for me anymore. I was calling him.
So yes or no, did you threaten him or did you not threaten him?
No, I did not threaten him.
He said he threatened him while this whole thing's blowing up. He's saying he didn't threaten him.
We know that you have previously been fined for threatening a fellow public servant. Is that correct?
That is incorrect.
It is incorrect?
That is incorrect.
So have you ever had any allegations of you making threats against another individual?
I have a personal matter that was brought to my attention, and a family matter that I did not disclose, but I've never threatened another
A family matter? What's going on here?
individual, another public servant.
Okay, did that matter come before the courts?
No, it did not.
In the reporting process with respect to Mr. McDonald, did Ted Gallivan ever speak to you about the threats against Mr. McDonald?
Merci pour la question. La première fois.
Thanks for the question. The first time I heard about those allegations of threat is when Mr. MacDonald came to this committee in the fall of 2023. That's the first time I heard about that.
I just want to point out throughout this committee, he keeps switching to French. This is a dirty tactic. He was trained and taught by someone how to do this committee. Whenever he switches to French, it eats up the clock. They only get a select amount, like 5 minutes to ask their questions. The translators have to kick in, and it just chews up time. Another thing, if French isn't your primary language, I don't know what this guy's primary language is, but he speaks perfect fluent English, so I'm going to assume it's English. If you speak in French, it's harder to give body language and vocal tells if you're lying, if you're speaking in a second or third language. I'm wondering if anytime he does his biggest lies, anything they're getting the closest thing to his lies, he switches to French. It's very disingenuous just watching this and then suddenly just start speaking French for no reason. This guy is a stone cold liar. I'm convinced of it.
Chair, I'll just ask for a little bit of extra time because the witness is switching back and forth, and so it's taking translation extra time. Well, I'm not sure if he's doing it for my benefit or for his, but it's...
You're burning up your own time, but why don't we continue?
Yeah. We've seen the text messages that you were concerned about throwing a minister under the bus, and you and Cameron McDonald getting your stories straight. Why was that your priority instead of just simply telling the truth to parliamentarians who were asking you questions?
I don't remember trying to get my story straight. I was actually calling Mr. McDonald for facts that we do not have. And frankly, to this day, the investigation is ongoing, which is who brought GC Strategies into the CBSA. So I was not...
Oh, we don't know who did it. Who brought it in? I can't remember. We're not getting facts straight. This guy's such a liar. He gets caught. He goes around the security protocols. He goes around all the tech workers, gets access to all those files, and deletes all the emails. Then he claims his laptop broke. If he's not getting charged for giving $60 million of taxpayer dollars to GC Strategies, then he should get charged for this. This guy has to go to jail. When all this blows up, he claims he has medical issues. Oh, my heart, my heart. I don't know if he has heart problems. He should have some heart problems for screwing over Canadians. This guy's a liar.
I'm trying to get his story straight. Nobody at CBSA at the time can answer the question. He was closest to it.
Going back to text messages, Mr. Duen, from October of 2022, I'm rather good at running my mouth. My issue is what I want to say versus what I can say. I have to stay in my lane. In my opening round with you, sir, I opined what a literal interpretation would be, what I believe most Canadians would take from that text exchange. I will give you a little bit of latitude, sir, to explain yourself. Specifically, I like an explanation as what you want to say versus what you can say. What did you mean by that, sir, in your text exchange with Mr. McDonald?
So I should note, he's already asked him this question once, and he just gave him a bullcrap answer saying, oh, no, there's nothing going on there.
Thank you for the question. I don't remember that text exchange again, and I wonder why Mr. McDonald would still have that text with him after leaving.
Wonder why he'd still have that text with him. Do people go back and delete their text messages? No, not unless you're a criminal. Just notice, too, he said, thank you for that question. You know who else says that? Chrystia Freeland. I'm guessing Chrystia Freeland's got her coach there helping him out.
The agency. So having said that,
If I could stop with respect, the issue is not whether you recall it. The issue is why you would ask why Mr. McDonald would retain it. That wasn't the question. These are your text messages. It is a snapshot in time. One would have thought these are pressing issues that would still be germane on your mind. I appreciate you have health issues, but clearly you have a lawyer, so you prepared for this meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct Canadians if they're wrong. The interpretation is you cannot be honest with this committee because you're being held back from telling us the truth. So let me help you. Who was directing you not to give committee the full truth and nothing but the truth? You being the vice president at the time, would it have been Mr. Osowski or Miss O'Gorman?
Nobody was directing me to not be truthful. And in terms of saying what I want to say, sometimes, and as I want to do here, I stick to the facts. I don't conjecture. I don't give opinion. I'm not here to give opinions. So the question there, and these are alleged texts, I must say. I don't have these texts. These are alleged from the same individual.
Alleged text. I'm sure they pulled this straight off the cell networks. This guy is such a liar.
Stop you right there. Don't go there. Don't suggest for 1 minute these are fabricated text messages. By doing so, sir, you are now impugning the integrity and the character of the source of this information. If you got an issue with this, my suggestion is you go back to your phone and you scroll back to your communications with Mr. McDonald, or furthermore, if that is gone, talk to your service provider, because service providers retain up to 10 years worth of text messages. So with respect, don't go there. Don't use the word alleged. These are your words, and I've given you the opportunity to explain yourself. I'll ask one further time. Why did you say you could not give us the full goods?
I did not say I could not give you full goods. And with respect, Mr. Chair, the same individual has taken very strong liberties of impugning my reputation and going as far as saying I faked a heart attack. So my apologies if I do take offense to allegations, because there have been many allegations made against me.
Mr. Dewan.
This guy's unbelievable. He's crying like a little baby here, saying Brock hurt my feelings.
I'm moving on. You got counsel with you. You've indicated you're not under any investigation. You've indicated you're not under internal investigation. You're not under police investigation. Why do you have a lawyer with you?
I believe everybody is allowed counsel. I believe other witnesses that have appeared here have counsel as well. And given the harm that's already been done to my reputation, both here and on social media, I think it
Thank you. Is the CBSA currently paying for your legal fees?
Yes, they are.
How much have you submitted so far?
I'm not done, so I've not submitted anything.
You've submitted no bills?
I've submitted bills for previous attendance, but not for this one.
And how much has your legal counsel billed for his or her services in assisting you? Just the number, please.
The last one was $5,000.
$5,000?
Unbelievable. He's wasting our money after he is a big liar who's deleted all those emails.
I wonder, Mr. Jones, if you would be willing to share with the committee all of your text messages with Mr. McDonald. I think that would be quite revealing and help us to probably identify other key facts of what has gone on. Would you be able to provide that to the committee?
I'll go through my phones and work with shared services and treasury board to see what I can recover. Yes.
That was a bit of an...
Come on, dude. No one's buying that. I'll go through it, see what I can find, guys. What a load of crap. We're not buying that. He's not buying it either.
Imprecise answer. Will you provide the text messages, and are the text messages available, or have they been corrupted through file transfer and DIYs on your phone as well?
No, there was no corruption. But when you change departments, when you take your phone with you, that the common practice is the new department wipes your phone and configures it for the new department.
You said my issue, according to these messages, my issue is what I want to say versus what I can say. Can't throw FAC under the bus. Can't throw ministers under the bus. Is there information that you would have said that you can't say that would be that would cast ministers in a negative light? Because we've been told that ministers haven't been involved in these discussions at all, and yet you seem to imply in these text messages that you know something about ministers that they wouldn't want shared at committee.
No, there isn't.
There's something slippery there because he mentioned ministers. Someone is involved in this, obviously, from the top.
Would you have said something like that or imply that there was something in a conversation with Mr. McDonald?
I think I answered that when I was answering another question. If the question is why there were so many changes, why does it cost as much, is because we were meeting the needs of other departments.
Question.
So he was asked about which minister is involved, and he switches to French. I'm sticking with my theory here. Whenever they get really close to the stinking, rotten corruption, the biggest smoking gun of them all, he starts speaking French because that's not his native language.
And that's not the question. The question is about ministers. we have text messages between Mr. Cameron and you that say you can't throw ministers under the bus, and your issue is what you want to say versus what you can say. That would imply that you would like to say something that would cast ministers in a negative light, and you feel that you can't say it. But you're telling us now that you would have nothing to say regarding ministers one way or the other. So which is it? Were ministers involved or not? And if they weren't, what are we to make of these text messages?
Ministers were not involved, and I can't throw people under the bus. It goes against my integrity and my approach. I didn't throw Mr. McDonald under the bus last time I was at committee under oath for 2.5 hours.
But sir, you're just not answering the question.
Something else to note here, every time he's asked a question he clearly doesn't like, he's either looking down left or he's looking way over here to the right. He's not looking directly at him. He's avoiding direct eye contact, which is an obvious tell of body language that he's not comfortable. He doesn't want to talk about this because there's obviously something to hide.
A committee under oath. I am answering the question.
No, witnesses have to answer the question. That's how this works here. You said my issue is what I want to say versus what I can say. What I want to say versus what I can say. So what is it that you want to say that you can't say to this committee, sir?
I can only imagine what I wanted to say. So I could say I was very frustrated. I was very tired. I was working 7 days a week. I was frustrated that after what I thought was something that met the needs at the time was now being questioned, my integrity and the cost and how we went about it. That's what I wanted to say. We were working around the clock.
This guy's such a liar. He's asked about this like 3 or 4 times, and all the times he says he doesn't know. He doesn't remember that conversation. I'm pretty sure he said he didn't even have that conversation. And now he's saying, oh, that's what I said. He's just making up crap off the top of his head here.
Do you understand the content of the allegation, sir? The complaint says as follows, that you approached this IT employee directly without going around proper protocol for requesting technical support. You said that some files were lost when you attempted to move files between your laptop and the network drive in preparation for a new computer. Mr. Dwan was telling me or saying made no sense. I've never heard of a VP or an individual who receives VIP treatment in regards to IT-related tasks taking it upon themselves to move files or organize information in the way he suggested. The complainant said Mr. Dwan said he was acting on the advice of CBSA's IT team, but this employee expressed skepticism. Who on the team gave you that advice? Identify names, please.
I can find the name.
Is it one name or is it several names?
The initial person identified that my battery would have be giving up soon or would have an issue. I could identify that name. And perhaps one of the reasons I didn't ask for anything is I've been on medical leave for the past 6 months. And on a doctor's advice, I'm supposed to avoid stress would be probably a reason why I've not wanted to engage any further on an investigation about myself.
This guy's unbelievable. Complaining about stress. You're going to have a new level of stress when Bubba comes for you in jail, buddy. Jeez. The audacity, the gall of this guy. Wasting our money on a lawyer. His story doesn't match up at all. This is disgraceful. Why haven't the government gone back to get our money from GC Strategies? Why does Christian Firth get to sit there with $60 million? If they know it's obvious corruption, go get the money back. What the heck, man? Alrighty, jumping over to my group here. Let's see what we got today. I'm sick of having my paycheck taxed nearly in half, then paying taxes on everything I buy, only to see it sent to another country to solve their problems while we inch closer to the cliff. Yeah, no kidding. Liberal supporter survey. Do you support Justin Trudeau and the Liberals Party to keep Canada moving forward? Tell us how we can keep building a better future for you and your family. Palestine protesters try to hijack Remembrance Day ceremony in Kingston, Ontario. You know, I was waiting for this story to pop up. I was sure this was going to happen. Disgraceful. Did I just eat? Yes. Do I want more? Of course. That's why I'm launching this campaign. More food for Eddie. Canada begins construction on a wall at the Canada-US border. What is that? Is that a beaver? I think it's a beaver. You can't really see the tail. What do you call a moose with no name? What? Anonymous. This one's pretty funny here. If you look at the bottom here, it says alien-like signal from 2023 is being decoded. The next step is to figure out what it means. What is this? Prime Minister announced a new by-election in Cloverdale, Langley City. He's trying to find Singh a new seat. That's hilarious. I wonder if that's true. It's funny because you scroll down and you see this here. That's not going to work out for Singh. I think we're all tired of GC Strategy's situation. That has to get wrapped up. Min Doan put out some cuffs on him. There's already a whistleblower basically calling him out, saying that he's a liar. At what point does a guy just not go to jail? At least put him in jail for deleting all of his emails.